Hello and welcome back to the channel. Hi if you're new here. Hi if you're not. Today we have yet another manifestation coaching nightmare to get through. If you have a story you want me to read out here on the channel, the form where you can submit it is linked down below. Let's go ahead and jump right in. My story is with a manifestation coach. She started showing up on my FYP out of nowhere because I didn't watch any type of law of attraction type of content. And I had never heard of the law of assumption until this lady appeared on my feed. But that sort of stuff wasn't really up my alley. I tend to brush all of that off as hooey, woo-woo, la-la land nonsense. But at this time in my life, I was at a really, really low point. Don't judge me too harshly. I mean really low. Lowest I'd ever been. It was about 2 years after coming out of the worldwide lockdowns where my career and love life both took huge hits. My finances were in a bad place and everything in life felt upside down from what it had previously been, and it was as if all that I'd spent the last decade and a half, 15 years, building was just going, gone. I was definitely in a desperate state of mind at this time, and this manifestation lady came off as like a big sister, cool aunt energy, so I stuck around a little bit. Okay, before we even get into the story, I want to address this because I don't think I have ever read a story or talked to an individual who signed up for one of these coaches, whether it be manifestation coach, life coach, business coach is going to help me make a cajillion dollars. No one I've spoken with has ever signed up for one of these like grifter coaches in particular when they're at like the peak height of the best place of their life, knowing exactly what they want to do, exactly have everything they've ever dreamed of. Those are not the people that are signing up for these programs. So before we even get into your story, just know that if you found yourself in a vulnerable position and that is what led to you getting scammed, presumably, or you wouldn't have sent this story to me, that is what these programs are designed for. And also the comment about her being like a big sister or a cool aunt. A lot of these people in the coaching or personal development space want to really create that parasocial sort of relationship where you feel like they're your friend and you trust them, so that you'll buy their program so that they can keep you sucked into their world. So I just want to kind of address that before we even get into the real meat of the story. She felt relatable because she herself was a nobody at the time. I'm pretty sure she was even living out of her car and working as a maid when she started making this manifestation coaching content. This sounds like a certain manifestation guru, if you will, who got started from her grandmother's couch. If you know who I'm talking about, you know. Anyway, she talked away in her videos like a bestie would talk to you when you're down. After a while, she started looking cleaner, like her hair and face started looking like she was actually showering regularly now. She started making content from inside an apartment instead of her car with her mops and buckets in view. So I was happy to see that she was manifesting her success right before our eyes, from living in her car to having her own apartment. So I was thinking, well, I'm not that bad off, and if she can do it, then what's stopping me? I can do it too. And I started doing all the affirming, scripting, visualizing, believing in myself. I mean, I did have the evidence from pre-pandemic life that I was more than capable of accomplishing a lot and was well on my way to my dream life, which is where I would be now if 2020 hadn't been a global shitstorm. Ah, yes, the classic rags to riches story. We love to see that. You know, the thing about manifestation coaching specifically, and forgive me if you've been here a long time, you've heard me talk about this over and over and over again, is that I speculate that the people who, well, first of all, we don't know. Are these people successful? What do their bank accounts look like? I don't know. I'm not privy to that information. But if we give people the benefit of the doubt and we assume that these manifestation coaches who claim to have manifested tens of thousands of hundreds of millions of dollars, let's say that they've done that. I speculate that the reason that they've manifested all this money is through convincing you that they know how to manifest money. So the manifestation itself is actually just convincing you to pay them. So being a good salesperson, being a good marketer, making that money. So let's pretend I'm the manifestation coach. I convince you, I can teach you how to manifest $10,000 if you just buy my $1,000 program. I sell it to you and 9 other people and I make $10,000. That reinforces my belief that I know how to manifest $10,000 because I was able to successfully convince 10 people to buy my $1,000 program. And so I made the $10,000 that I promised I would manifest. Therefore, reinforcing my belief that manifestation works. Manifestation is real, which, by the way, if you're new here, I don't believe in manifestation, and you can watch this video here to find out why. But I digress. In my opinion, most of these manifestation gurus on the internet are actually just very skilled marketers that mask that sort of sales and marketing under the title of manifestation. So it's interesting to me to read your take on this as someone who essentially fell prey to that style of marketing. So let's continue. All it was going to take to rebuild my life was ignoring my current circumstances and imagine it in my mind. Circumstances don't matter, she preached loudly every damn video. I was imagining it, scripting it, having inner conversations with other people involved in my life. Sounds easy enough, right? Wrong. Things didn't change. They either stayed exactly as is, as it was, or got worse. Cost of living increased, work never picked up back to pre-pandemic levels, and in fact, shrunk even more. My financial state became so dire, I had exactly 87 cents in my bank account for a week and was relying on the kindness of friends and family to do a meal train. But this coach and her entire community said to just ignore my circumstances, that my circumstances don't matter, and that the 3D reality isn't real. And anything that I'm experiencing is because it's what my soul truly desires. And if I want to change it, I have to think differently. That's all. Just change my thoughts. Oh my God. This is my problem with the whole online manifestation community, is that they want to shift responsibility for people and their circumstances entirely onto the individual. And while yes, to a degree, we as people are responsible for certain aspects of our reality, to say that everything that we encounter in life or every experience that we have is a direct result purely of our own thoughts, perceptions, actions, etc., is simply just not true. There are so many external factors beyond our control that limit what we are capable of achieving or experiencing in this lifetime. And I think choosing to encourage people to ignore those real world problems, be it systemic poverty, debt, job loss, mental health problems, etc., is setting people up for failure, because ignoring those problems or acting like, oh, I'm in control of everything, doesn't actually make them go away. And in most cases, I would argue, probably makes them 10 times worse. But honestly, I feel like this is probably all part of the indoctrination of, getting people to really buy into the concept of manifestation so that you can create that dependent relationship where they'll then buy your courses, programs, coaching, etc., to help solve this imaginary problem that you've created for them. I'm literally starving because I can't afford to buy food, and she's saying my reality is fake news. I was beside myself and then started blaming myself. Self-gaslighting, if you will, because I knew damn well that my thoughts weren't the problem. And yet, I was still desperate for anything to change my circumstances and finances, that I started to think maybe I was the problem. Maybe it was all my thoughts and in my head. She sounded so damn confident that I started to doubt my own critical thinking and listen to her when she said,
logical thinking has no place here.
It started to affect me mentally. I was second guessing my entire life. Was it just a mental case? I started to wonder. After watching her videos, I had noticed a major decline in my mental health because now I was blaming every single thing on myself, even things that I had no control over. This is the real consequence of these teachings that I try to reiterate over and over and over again. And I mean, there are people in my comment section on that original video that can back me up on this. And I'm sure some of you watching can probably attest to really, truly believing in manifestation, trying to practice those teachings, and ending up in a worse off position. That's not an uncommon experience, unfortunately. And I think it's because these gurus that are pushing this narrative, not only do they fail people financially, but they also tend to chip away at people's self-confidence, critical thinking skills, ability to practice discernment, and just our overall mental well-being, I would say. Because when we tell people, oh, it's all in your head or it's your own fault and you need to take personal responsibility, especially when they're already struggling, I think it kind of creates this cycle of shame and confusion wherein the person is like, well, what am I supposed to do if I'm trying all these things and I'm doing the affirmations and I'm believing in myself? Like, maybe it's my own thoughts. I'm not believing hard enough. Maybe I just need to try harder. And it leaves people kind of stuck in this cycle where they feel almost forever indebted to this coach. Like, if I just buy the next program, maybe it'll work out. And it's essentially like this cycle that you can't get out of. And you're also not getting results. And so you just end up in a worse off position than when you started. So when this manifestation coach said she was going to do hot seat coaching groups for YouTube channel members on Google group chats once a week, I thought maybe she knew something I didn't and could help me improve my finances, since she went from living in her car with mops, buckets, and a dog to living in her own place and eventually getting a boyfriend, supposedly. I had taken the bait. Maybe she had some secret that I didn't know and I wanted to know. I was in a bad place, but it was cheap for coaching services anyway. It was around like $39 per month at the time. I don't remember exactly, but I do know it was less than $40, but I have no idea what the pricing is now. Okay, given the outrageous pricing we've seen in the coaching industry, $39 is interesting to me because I wonder if this is just going to be one of those experiences where maybe she has, hundreds of these channel members and you're like racing to the chat box to try and get your question answered, or if this is just going to be an upsell into a more expensive one-on-one coaching program. Curious to see where it goes. Anyway, I joined the hot seat coaching, and when it was my turn, she was being snarky in a mean girl, fake nice way. Like, so if I were to call it out, I would look like a jerk, if you know what I mean. But she seemed very annoyed and very mean girl, fake nice, instead of the cool aunt energy I had previously thought she gave off. She said she would email me, but she never did. She just went on and on about how I'm paying too much attention to the 3D reality, which she would call fake news, and told me to ignore all my circumstances, go full delulu. I'm sorry, I'm 35 with 2 kids. That's not an option. I need practical and real solutions, not magical thinking or wishing and hoping and praying and pretending. I think for me, this is kind of the crux of why I believe a lot of these coaching programs are just like full of baloney. It is so easy for someone with no real life lived skills or experience or knowledge to simply charge people money to tell them,
Believe in yourself. Just imagine you have the things you want. Being delulu is the salulu.
because literally anyone can do that. Anyone can read a self-help book and then regurgitate that as part of their, inside the membership hot seat coaching versus taking the time, the years, the hours, the months, the days to actually build up legitimate skills and experience and credentials to give people practical advice. And I understand, like, in the manifestation space, practical advice really isn't the point. It is about, more of the
Emotional things you can't see but you can feel.
but even still, I don't really have to have in-depth knowledge to be able to package those concepts up to people and sell them. I remember she was talking about how she was so powerful that she manifested herself a spot at a convention with real life celebrities. Like the 2 actors from the original Charmed series were going to be there, which she was fangirling about and bragging about how her next big manifestation was going to be a relationship with Jason Momoa. She claims she is a person who manifested his divorce and she was getting closer to getting this man to be her mate. She's mentally so gone that she really believes that. So that's when I knew I had to piece out of that entire delulu community. Okay, this is getting into the law of assumption, specific person territory, which is a topic I have been ideating on for a while now. I've been working on a script for quite some time. There's just not enough hours in the day, but there is an entire online community of people. You can actually go to the subreddit. I believe it's r/law of assumption. And some of the stuff that gets shared in there is scary. Not to simplify it too much, but essentially there is a community of people who believe that they can control the actions of other people through their own thoughts. So if I have someone that I want to, become my boyfriend, I can will them to want to be my partner through my own positive thoughts and affirmations. It's scary. A story for another day, but this sort of story that you're telling me is just really triggering some of the stuff that I've seen on Reddit that is legitimately terrifying. My takeaway is that yes, my circumstances matter, and so do yours. Ignoring your 3D reality can cause some real serious issues to arise, like if you stop paying your bills and rent because these coaches tell you that your 3D reality isn't real. Don't believe these wacky people when they say that you can just do inner conversations with money and tell money to be obsessed with you, and money is obsessed with your bank account. That is wacky nonsense these people preach. So you know what I did that actually worked for me? The real solution that these coaches never suggest or would never dare to? I enrolled back in classes to increase my skill set so I can pivot in my career and switch gears into something that is really gonna make me the kind of money that I need to be making. Because that's what grown-ups do. You know what? Congratulations, and I hope that that works out for you. We don't need manifestation coaches to lie to us with these truly grandiose egos and get rich off our desperation. I'm so thankful I didn't lose hundreds and thousands like so many, but sheesh, I almost lost my damn mind, which in my opinion is worse. I'd already lost tens of thousands to the pandemic, and now here I was losing what I had left. my mind. I hope someone is helped by hearing my story. Thanks for sharing it if you decide to. I hope you get to make a whole industry of charlatans infamous for the harm they're causing to so many people, and I know thousands more people who follow you and are on the Coach Snark pages that feel the same way. Thank you so much for sharing that story. And while I am so glad to hear you did not spend thousands and thousands of dollars, I can deduce that your experience was still slightly traumatizing nonetheless. So welcome to the club. Oh my God. Just when I think I've heard it all, guys, it just keeps getting worse. So thank you so much to the individual that sent me this story. If you're watching and you have your own scam story that you want me to read out here on the channel, the form where you can submit it is linked in the description of every single one of my videos. I also have an entire playlist of these scam stories if you're new around here and you want to get caught up to speed with what kind of scammy shit is happening on the internet. But seriously, I couldn't make this content without you guys, so thank you so much for sharing. Similarly, I do want to take this time to thank the channel members here. I was actually looking through all of the channel members the other day, and it is crazy to me that some of you have been channel members for over 2 years now. Like, what is happening? Thank you so much for your continued support. YouTube for me is not my full-time job. This is just like a fun hobby that I do to take these scammers down. And so I really, truly do appreciate those of you that choose to contribute your own hard-earned money to me as a content creator, as it does help me to be able to create these videos in my free time. And so on that note, I want to give a big shout out to our channel VIP members, as well as our rich friends in the billionaire tier who are getting very wealthy, let me tell you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And I'll leave you on screen here with a scam story I read a couple weeks ago where a woman lost $21,000 to a relationship coach. That hurts. Take care. Comb your hair, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.